Hello, this is Makeba Lloyd, certified aromatherapist and founder CEO of Scentonomy Wellness, a platform built to provide a myriad of wellness tools, such as certified organic aromatherapy products backed by a data-driven algorithm, organic diffusing systems, and access to a community of phenomenal licensed and certified wellness professionals who specialize in some of the most innovative and effective modalities of our time. Today, we are highlighting bioenergetic wellness. What is it? Does it work? How does it work? Why are so many leaning into the realm of understanding their own bioenergetic fields? To help us understand this wellness modality a bit more intimately, we have the honor and pleasure and privilege of speaking with Ellie Darden, board-certified naturopathic doctor, certified clinical aromatherapist, and certified Nest Health practitioner. Hello, Ellie. It is so nice to see you again. I'm very excited for our conversation today.
Hi, Makiba. I am too. I'm excited. I love talking about nests and bioenergetics. So fire away.
Okay, well, I introduced you to the audience, but I want to give you an opportunity to do the same in your own words.
Oh, okay. I am a board certified naturopathic doctor, as well as a NAHA certified clinical aromatherapist and a certified Nest Health practitioner. And I practice here in Chicago and Atlanta.
It's wonderful. It is so wonderful to meet you again and to get to know you better. So, we are going to just dive right in. We are talking about bioenergetic wellness. How is bioenergetic wellness defined?
Okay, so bioenergetics is the study, detection, and correction of energy in living systems. So we don't just focus on people. We actually scan pets as well. Nest Health spent decades mapping out the energy and communication systems of the body. And these systems are collectively called the human body field, which acts as like a control panel for the body's physical activity.
Wow, it's remarkable. There's so much we don't know about ourselves as living organisms, right? And
Yes,
we learn about the physical flesh and the body and the internal body systems and organs, but we never really get into understanding and dissecting the energy field, which is really what we are, right?
correct.
We're pure energy. Thank you so much for that. So our next question is, what is the significance of the human body field in relation to health?
Well, when the field is underpowered or distorted, it can't run the body optimally. And the body's cells and systems begin to fail. We recognize that failure as feeling tired, sometimes exhaustion, and those symptoms are a key indicator, especially if you know you've been getting enough sleep. It's an indicator that something else is going on. When we improve the function of the body field by feeding it good nutrition, by having good lifestyle choices, we tell people get out there, be in nature, be in the sun. The body's incredible healing system can take over and start restoring the body to health. Nowadays you hear the story of even here in Chicago during the wintertime, people get that feel a little disjointed, especially when they don't have sunshine and so forth. And I remember during the wintertime, I would go to Atlanta and get out of the cold.
That
Yeah.
makes total sense. And our company, we do a lot of corporate wellness activations specifically for aromatherapy. And that's some of the data that we are pulling is that people are wanting to support their respiratory health.
Yes.
Is that, something that the bioenergetic, Nest Health system helps detect? Is if, someone is having, respiratory issues, is it able to kind of, identify, physical, is that what the process is? And maybe I will, go on to the next question, which is, how does it work? But yeah, I'm curious to know if people can, address issues like respiratory health by doing a scan through the Nest Health
Of
system.
course, what happens is we look for kind of like quote unquote telltale signs. If you get a scan and your lungs are scan purple, we're going to look at that a little bit closer. If you get a scan and your immune system is down, we're going to look at that. We're going to look at that a lot closer and see if there's a correlation there. If you scan and chronic fatigue comes up, or if cold influenza is purple. We're going to look at the respiratory area a little bit closer. And then there are also telltale signs that come through in the mind body scenario, because we look at the bronchia. So there are a lot of little indicators. It doesn't point out health challenges. We look to see how the energy is feeding the organs, the systems. But we do see strong correlations between having something pop up that's, purple, and especially if you have several different indicators around that body system. Then we're going to look and say, oh, well, are you having any uh, respiratory issues, and there are strong correlations, but we don't focus on that. We focus on the energy and how the body is utilizing the energy.
That makes sense. I guess, before I could move on to the next question, are there ways that people could strengthen their bioenergetic field through food per se, or through other normal activities and things that we normally have access to, let's say in a supermarket, or, as a part of our daily, self-care regimen? Are there just sources and habits that people can incorporate in their day-to-day to strengthen their bioenergetic field?
Sure. What, you are an aromatherapist. I am an aromatherapist. My first go-to is always my plant buddies.
Yes.
And a simple technique of just actually brushing the oils through the biofield can actually help strengthen the biofield. That's number one. Nutrition, of course. Trying to get as many vegetables, leafy green vegetables into your diet intake, of course. But the thing with food is, you know, you're only as healthy as your gut. And when the gut is not healthy, then it slows down our ability to absorb. The same thing with vitamins. If the gut is not healthy, if the liver is not healthy, it makes it difficult for absorption. If you haven't absorbed, I know people who have been taking vitamins and they take vitamins religiously, but their absorption factor is the problem, not necessarily, you know, taking the vitamin or taking the minerals. They have an issue with absorption. So you have to address several different things on many, many, many levels. And that's why I like Nest, because what Nest does is it gives the body the information through the infoceuticals. It gives the body the information that the body needs to truly restore and correct itself.
It's remarkable.
Yeah.
We have so much power to take control of our own health in ways just through habit and diet and regimen. It's great to know that there's a community and there are tools, there's systems in place to help us do that. My next question is, what are the steps to the Nest Health system?
Okay, so we have three main steps, right? Assess the biofield. We do that through scanning, the scanning technology. Unblock and rejuvenate. We do that with the miHealth. And restore and correct. We do that with the infoceuticals. And three-step process, I mean, it works. But you know how we like to do things overboard, doing things overboard doesn't necessarily work in this case, you know. And that is what people need to understand. They need to really make a commitment, at least 90 days, to be able to see a change. Now, true enough, if you have uh, issues with exhaustion and tiredness, there are some things that we can do with Nest that can kind of like jumpstart your battery. But that's not what you want to do for the long haul, because we want to really look at what can we do to correct the root issue, the root problem. And that's what we are always gearing up towards.
So you spoke about scanning. How can you walk us through what is the scan? How does it work? Is it a machine? Is it, something that someone can do on their own? Like, what is the scan process with Nest Health?
So when I first started out, everybody had to come and get scanned at the office. And Nest was definitely ahead of its time because they started switching over as soon as possible to um, a more remote style of scanning. We went from having people come in to being able to send people scanners in the mail and they could scan at home. And there was a nominal charge for the scanner. This was really great, especially for people who couldn't get out and get around. Then we went from there to being able to really scan through the internet, through the web-based program, and do voice scans. And, at first I was like, oh, does this really work? But I mean, it is so accurate and it is so simple. If you have a computer, if you are connected to the internet, you can do a voice scan and it's sent directly to your practitioner. And they can look at it right away. It's just very, very convenient. So there's no reason for anybody not to be able to get scanned. And that's the lovely thing about it, especially during the time of when we had COVID. It was really, I was so busy during that time period because people could scan and they could get a read on their scan and they could stay in optimal health as much as they could, with everything going on.
It's wonderful to know that because of technology, we're able to assess our health in a seamless way, and in real time and quickly. So you're saying that someone could log onto the platform with with your invitation, and they create a profile, and
Yes,
then
they
they
create.
create a profile, and then they have access to a microphone, like on the computer, and they speak into the microphone. And what you're saying is that the system actually reads, I'm assuming, the frequency and vibration of their voice, and that's what's used to kind of analyze and understand what's going on in their bioenergetic field.
Yes. I mean, while it's not a medical assessment, the scan's bioenergetic matching process actually works with the voice that comes across. And it does correlate sometimes with health challenges, but more importantly, it looks at the underlying problem as to why you got where you got to in the first place. so we can address the concerns from the root issue, and give a bioenergetic solution.
A bioenergetic solution. And I guess, and you mentioned infoceuticals. That's a one resource or tool that is incorporated or inscribed, like interscribe or prescribe for someone who is trying to address an issue. Can you talk to us about the infoceuticals? What are they? Just so that people have an idea, who are interested in working with you and working with the platform, they know what to expect.
So the infoceuticals are the liquid remedies, and they are coded with information on flow so that the proper communication can get into the cell, into the body field and into the cells. And it helps adjust the energy level. So it's about energy and communication. And the remedies have helped thousands of people, around the world. I know when I started with Ness, the the physician that actually talked to me about it, he had the machine over in the corner of his office. He wasn't even really using it. He was only utilizing the infoceuticals. Um, he's a psychologist, and he was having such great results with utilizing the infoceuticals and doing talk therapy. It was so odd to me because I walked in and I said, "What is that, doc?" And he said, "Well, I use this to get a baseline scan on my patient load." And I was like, "Okay." So he did a scan on me because I had a frozen shoulder and I had tried so many things and I couldn't get the shoulder to really move. It was quite uncomfortable. I was in a lot of pain. And he did a scan on me. And so we pinpointed the issue, but he didn't have the miHealth. So I called the company and the rep was in the area. She came by, gave me a 5-minute treatment with the miHealth, and I could lift my arm by the time she left. By the next day, I could raise my arm completely above my head. I
Wow.
mean, and so once that happened, I was committed to, studying all of the information, going to all of the educational classes, and I bought the system. You know, um, I remember Doc said I could use his system, but I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I gotta have my own
Gotta have
system.
your own, gotta get your own, right?
I have to have my own. I have to have all of the accoutrements.
All the detail, all of the things, as they say, as the young people say, right?
Yeah,
Younger people
yeah.
say. So you mentioned miHealth. Is that part of the platform, part of the system? Is that like a technology, a digital tool that's part of the?
Yeah, that is a handheld uh, pulse electromagnetic frequency
Oh,
generator. And so depending on what your scan says, it gives a recommendation of what type of interaction or what type of um, my health treatment you should get. And I can tell you that you can feel the energy right away. um, you will notice uh, subtle differences. And some people feel the energy very strong, some people don't. Some people don't feel anything. That's still okay. The energy is still going. And like I said, I'm sold. You can't tell me anything because I could raise my arm in 5 minutes.
wow.
So yeah, so sometimes it's instantaneous,
Right.
sometimes not. Um, the way that I have my packages set up, you get X number of frequency scans along with X number of bottles of the infoceuticals because they really do go hand in hand. You might get an initial, say, an initial reaction from the scan, but then you need to have those infoceuticals for about 30 days so that the body can recognize this as the new default information.
Wow. Wow. So we have the infoceuticals, which are water-based, I'm assuming.
Yes, yes.
The infoceuticals, we have the miHealth device, which is a pulse electromagnetic frequency technology device,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Walk us through how the patient or the client could utilize all these tools, once they meet with you, whether it's because their company purchased a package for their staff, or whether they were referred to you. They meet with you, or they can do this virtually, you're saying.
Correct. Basically my entire business is virtual now.
The beauty of technology.
I mean, it really is. And it allows for me to see more people that way.
Mm-hmm.
Now it doesn't mean that I don't go into my office. I do. I do go into my office. Occasionally somebody will really have to have hands-on, because you can use the miHealth on the body. So occasionally somebody might need to have that. But yeah, it's phenomenal. It allows us to be able to have a full remote operation. And that's
Wow.
exactly what I did during COVID.
Amazing. Amazing. A full bioenergetic surgery, pretty much.
Well,
Digital.
not surgery,
Or,
but
or you said operation, not surgery, operation.
right,
When you said operation, you see, this is my thinking. This is my traditional
right.
thinking around vocabulary. When you said
Hmm.
operation, I immediately went into surgery, and that's how we have been programmed, right? In
Yes,
healthcare system, when we identify remedies and wellness, right?
yes,
We
yes.
assume that operations and surgeries are immediate health, but you're actually pulling the body apart. You're going straight to the skin. You haven't assessed the energy. You're going straight through, piercing the body's vessel, right, before understanding the entire body field, not just physical,
Correct,
energetic.
correct.
Yeah, that's quite remarkable. There's a lot we have to relearn as human beings who are seeking wellness, because so many of us are seeking wellness, not for ourselves, for our children, for our future. So, Ellie, tell us a little bit, if you can give us an overview of the mind body session.
So, yeah, the reason I focused in on that as opposed to anything else, because, people really understand what's going on in their life. And the mind body module encompasses a lot more than just the physical challenges that somebody might be going through, but it also shows you how fatigue and how clear thinking is related, and how you think about certain things. And it picks up kind of always having negative thoughts, and sometimes people wonder, well, why do I have that? And then we link it back to a trauma or shock or something they have seen, maybe not been involved in, but it was so traumatic to them. It affects them even now in adult age. So the mind body looks at the four areas of the brain, the brain stem hologram, the cerebral cortex, the cerebellum area, and then it looks for the areas where you're holding traumatic experiences and how those traumatic experiences are actually tied to various areas in the body where it's being held. I mean, that whole scan, that whole module just by itself gives you so much information, because it's linked to how you think about a thing. Yeah. Remember, how you think about something, what you think about, you bring about.
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes. What you think about, you bring about. And just to recap, this wellness service, this wellness modality can be offered virtually as well as in person. But for companies who are diving into integrating wellness and natural wellness and nuanced wellness into their corporate culture, they can purchase packages from us through Scentonomy for virtual sessions for all of their employees if they wanted to.
Yes.
Okay, that's great.
And, you know, it really helps because nowadays people are so overwhelmed and they have home, they're trying to juggle all these different things, and the anxiety levels are high. Um, you know, fatigue is setting in. Everybody is trying to do multiple things all at the same time. So this allows for people to get the amount of attention for self-care. And it's really nice. It should really help with corporate retention of employees because I know I've worked with several different corporations that actually would have me come in and do aromatherapy or NES or um, one of the other modalities that I perform, and you should see them how happy they were. Now that was right before COVID, right when COVID hit. I was signed up to go in and do a corporate event. And so this is really like a nice way because it allows for the corporation to give something back to the employee and, a happy, balanced employee, as they say, happy life, happy wife.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You get the healthier your employees are, the more
Yeah,
productivity and output you get. Well, thank
yeah.
you so much. I think we're at time, and I'm so grateful for you and all of your wisdom and all of your knowledge in this specialty, this modality, one of many that you focus on in your practice. But we really appreciate your time today, and we want to do this again because I think there's some people who may really need the information to be able to digest it and understand it. But we wanted to do this intro so that our audience and our clients and our members have an understanding of what bioenergetic wellness is. Thank you so much, Ellie. I really appreciate you, and we will see you next time.
Thank you, Makiba. I look forward to it. Bye-bye.
Bye. So there you have it. Bioenergetic wellness through the Nest Health system is a gateway to understanding the energy that flows through and around us, which in turn influences our physical body field. It's also an opportunity to strategically apply energy wellness in a more precise manner as we continue our healing journeys.